Beautiful souls, welcome back, or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zielinski, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. I usually get really suspicious when my schedule suddenly changes or my plans completely get turned upside down. It's usually spirit up to something. So my antennas go up every time there's a sudden change because I just know that there's a reason for it. I have learned over the years to step out of resistance, and I have worked really hard at mastering living in the present moment, the power of now, not pushing against anything. If I'm not meant to do something or something's not meant to happen for me, I'm very much okay with that. And it has taken some practice with mindfulness and alignment and learning to not push against anything and just simply trusting the power of now. Now, today was one of those days that completely shifted for me. I had other plans. I had a day ahead of me that suddenly, just like that, changed. And my schedule was wide open. And that suspicious feeling, what are you up to, is the first thing that goes through my mind. And I really didn't feel anything back from the spirit dimensions. I thought, okay, today's a great day to enjoy a second cup of coffee. Maybe meditate a little bit longer than normal and just kind of take a slow start. Just kind of really enjoying that slow start to the day and enjoying the power of now. And as I'm sitting there kind of wondering what should I do with myself today, into my awareness enters the to-do list. The list of physical world jobs and tasks comes into my awareness. Oh, I'm really good at spiritual tasks. I'm really good at the spiritual world and working within there and getting things done in the spirit dimensions. Very easy for me. The physical world, different story. I am a little bit guilty of letting some chores get stacked up sometimes. So today was a good day to tackle that. And I started navigating my day through that, through my list, check boxing off, little jobs that were getting done and feeling good about that. One job on my list was to get down to our local Best Buy, to the Geek Squad, and have my cell phone looked at. The plastic coating that's over my phone is warranted as long as I own my phone, and it's been bubbling and peeling, a little bit of battery life issues going on. So I thought, well, today's a good day to head down to the Geek Squad and have them look at my phone and get that clear coating replaced. So when I go, and as I'm entering the store, I just kind of knew that something was up, but I didn't know what. I just had this suspicious feeling in the air. Into the lineup I go. There's a gentleman ahead of me arguing with a customer service representative. Very agitated vibration coming from him. He's clearly not pleased. So, trying to mind my own business, Spirit wasn't having any of that. So I lean in and I'm just kind of listening, and he's talking about how his laptop isn't working properly, and this was his third trip into the Geek Squad to have his laptop looked at, and it was a huge inconvenience for him. As for all of us, I think it would be to have to return a third time with a device that's acting up. The laptop had been glitching and freezing, and he wasn't able to access files, and he was extremely frustrated, and the customer service rep was explaining to him that their tech guys weren't able to find anything wrong with it. So he opens up the laptop and attempts to log in, and the laptop begins to glitch. And he turns it over to the customer service rep, and he says, see, it's doing it. So the customer service rep grabs the mouse, click, click, click. The laptop's fine. Turns the laptop back over to its owner. Click, click, click. He tries again, and the laptop shuts itself off. So I'm kind of watching and observing, thinking, what's going on here? So the interaction went back and forth for about another 2 minutes. They were discussing what's happening. The customer service rep is a little bit surprised because whenever he attempts to use the laptop, it works. Gives it back to the owner. It does not work. So they're having this interaction go back and forth when suddenly I caught a glimpse of the screen as they were handing it back and forth to one another. And what do I see in the screen? You got it. Spirit looking right back at me. Looking right back at me, and I thought, oh, here we go. This is going to be some fun times. So I just wait for my go-ahead sign. Spirit sends it, and I just kind of stepped forward and said, excuse me. Now, there's usually that awkward moment when people look at me. I do have a very eccentric look. I get it. Quite often with the crystals and, and the hair, there's usually that moment of people trying to take in what's going to come out of my mouth. And I just simply said to this gentleman, I said, if I may have a moment to talk about your laptop, I think I know what's going on. And he has that blank stare. Still clearly agitated, but that blank stare, and I could feel his energy and his thoughts, like, you? What the heck? So, big breath in, and I simply said to him, I said, your dad passed about 6 months ago? And the color drains from his face, and he says, yeah, my dad died 6 months ago. I explained who I was, what I do, and I said, your dad's trying to get your attention through the laptop. There's that moment of, you're crazy, lady. You're crazy is basically what comes out of his mouth. A little gentler, but basically. And I just said to him, if I can have a moment of your time, we can get all this cleared up because your dad's trying to communicate with you. So, he was willing to step aside with me with the laptop. So he comes with me, and we have a discussion at the front of the store about his job. His father is trying to warn him about his stress levels. He has an extremely high stress job. His dad was telling me that he's been getting chest pains, and he acknowledged that. He's like, yeah, I'm having a lot of chest pains. And I said to him, have you gone to see a doctor? He goes, no, I know it's just stress, and there was all these excuses. And I looked right at him, and I said, I'm telling you right now, your dad is warning you that you need a break. This is why he's glitching your laptop. Is this the laptop that you use to work with? Yes, it is. Your dad's trying to pause your stress. As he processed it, I could see him starting to soften a little bit. And I asked him, I said, does this resonate with you? And he became a little bit teary. And he said, I'm going to be honest, for the first time in a very long time, I don't feel well. I'm stressed to the max. I feel like I'm living on the edge of coping. And you're right. My dad is right. This job is killing me. So I said to him, I said, well, you've got choice and free will. You have the ability to shift. You have the ability to decide if you want to do something else. And as we're talking, the laptop screen is still popped open, and I can see his dad in the screen, like just literally waving at me, sending me the messages, giving me all the details that I need to help this man understand what I do, because it is sometimes a little difficult to explain how I work with spirit. But we wandered around the store a little bit, just chit-chatting, walking up and down the aisles, just talking about life and the stress and the momentum that he's been in, and that he hasn't been breathing. And he shared that he hadn't been living And he hadn't even paused long enough to grieve the loss of his dad. We made our way outside to the parking lot and talked a little bit more. And we started peeling off a few layers that he's been carrying around for a very long time, at this stress and this fast-paced world that he had been living in. And we talked about the simple things. And he said to me something really interesting. He said, "You sound just like my dad." And I said to him, "That's because your dad is the one that's telling me what you need to hear." And he said, "You know, I would never have believed you if I would have met you in any other place. If you would have channeled for me, or if I would have seen you at an event, or if I would have booked an appointment to see you, I wouldn't have been this open. But you caught me at the most fragile moment in my life. I'm barely keeping it together." And this would have been the time that my dad would have come forward, if he was living, to give me some pretty deep advice. And he would have shared with me what was important in life. And I've lost track of that. I've lost track of what really matters. And I think I'm done chasing. I'm done chasing all this fast pace, the money, the stress, the titles that I have. I think I'm done chasing it. I think it's time that I start to live. I really felt that he wasn't just speaking about himself. I really felt he was speaking about so many people, about how we spend so much time chasing what doesn't matter. And we don't pause long enough to just kind of reevaluate what needs to go, or how we're coping with it. Sometimes it's how we're coping with it, that out of balance space that sometimes we find ourselves in. We talked for what felt like several hours. It wasn't. It was probably about 45 minutes in total. We went back into the Geek Squad to have his laptop looked at and to hook up to their Wi-Fi one more time. And click, click, click. He used the mouse and his computer was working perfectly fine. Me, on the other hand, I walked out with him. There was a few more things to say, and he was thanking me and wanting to know a little bit more about the spirit worlds. And I got in my truck and headed back home to tackle the rest of my day. But I forgot to get the clear coating and the battery addressed on my cell phone. So here I am again. Once again, here I am with my to-do list with that clear coat and the battery issue still needing to be addressed. So perhaps tomorrow, Spirit will clear my schedule once again to head back down to Geek Squad and take care of my things. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up. And once again, as always, love, light, blessings, and a spirit-guided day.